Let's look at the first one, to teach. Teach, I do you watch. To teach, I do you watch. Proverbs 1:8 says it this way. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. The idea, the usage here of discipline, is that it's taught from parents to children. Let's look at that second verse, 16:20 in Proverbs. Whoever gives heed to instruction prospers, and blessed is he who trusts in the Lord. There's this idea that if I'm taught and I'm teachable, that good things happen. And there's this picture of parents being an agent of God, that God teaches me through my parents, that my role as a parent is to teach my kids. I do, you watch. My mom and dad did this with me. I remember, I still have it, the Bible storybook that my great-grandfather and grandmother read to my grandfather and his 3 siblings. And then he used it, my grandfather, to teach my dad. And then my mom and dad used to do it, and I would watch. They used to read, one would read it to me while the other one would act it out, and I can remember that. I also remember watching my dad pray on his knees. I remember watching them go to church. I remember watching them read the Bible. And it wasn't just geared to Bible, church, and prayer. It was geared to all of life, that your behavior would move with the Bible, prayers, and church. And my dad would get me up every Saturday morning and make me go to an auction, actually several auctions, either in the horrible heat or the, just shivering cold. I probably got frostbite to this day because of how my dad did not parent very well by having me out there with not warm clothes on. I got that out of the way. So I try to do the same thing. I got a storybook Bible, and I've done a different one with each daughter, and Lily's in this stage right now, and Haley's now going to come into it. But this is one of the best ones I've ever seen. I talked about it once before. It's the Young Learner's Bible Storybook. The Young Learner's Bible Storybook. And the thing I like about it is that the stories are good, they're short, and they include all of life. She doesn't just learn the Bible, she learns prepositions. She learns colors. She learns numbers. She learns the 6 basic kinds of machines, which I'm still trying to memorize. I thought that was really cool. I didn't know that happened, the world was that way. And there's all kinds of things in here I've learned because we do this. But here's how it starts out. I do, she watches. I read, she watches. This was Jesus' model. Jesus taught his disciples. You can look at it in Luke 10. Jesus taught his disciples. He did, and they watched. My question for you today is, what are your kids watching you do? That's what you're teaching them. Write it down. What are my kids watching me do?